I know there are still folks looking to get lunch. You have to get out of line. You don't get lunch now. You just have to leave. If you didn't get lunch, sorry, you're out. Of course, please stand in line. Keep getting your food. For those of you that already got it, wonderful. So a few quick announcements before we get going here. And so I'll start off with the ITS Georgia items before I introduce our sponsor for the day and then ultimately our speaker. So first, thank you to City of Peachtree Corners for having us up here, as always. Wonderful to be up here. Amazing facility, tons of space for those that are in line. There are seats up front, seats over here to the side, scattered over here on this side. So please don't feel like you need to stand up. Next up, we just finished our ITS Smart Summit with ITS Tennessee. It was a great success, sellout crowd of over 180 folks. Thank you for everybody that was on the board that helped put that together, as well as folks that were not on the board that helped volunteer their time to make that a great success. Really great feedback from everyone that was there. And we're trying to see what we can do in future years to figure out how we can make meetings like that with other organizations more possible. Next up, we have our monthly meetings planned. If you don't know this, if you have not figured out our scheduling schemes, they are the fourth Wednesday of the month. There are a few exceptions, and you'll see those on the calendar, in particular for September and July. We will not be having our August meeting because that will be ITS World Congress. If you have not yet been looking at that, getting that in your budget, yada, 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 please do so. This is going to be a huge event for Atlanta, for the Georgia community. A lot of excitement. I think somewhere in the range of about 10,000 people attend this. So tons of people from all over the world to see the great things that are going on in this state, in the city. If you are interested in helping ITS America and World Congress come up with technical tour ideas, please reach out to me at president@itsgeorgia.org. They are continuing to look for more and more ideas, but those could be, there will be one that comes up here. I think Kia and the Ray are going to try to get a bus to take people down that way for a full day tour. There will be some that are maybe to Porsche or to UPS. So again, it doesn't necessarily have to be specific about a technology. It's just more about showcasing the wonderful things that are going on within the metro Atlanta area. Let's see, next month, and I've already forgotten, Caitlin, I'm going to look at you to correct me. Where are we for our monthly meeting? We are at Maggiano's next month. Maggiano's Cumberland. Thank you. Maggiano's Cumberland. So go ahead. Registration is open. Go ahead, sign up. We're excited to have, excited to be there again. Excited to enjoy the wonderful food, of course. And then in April, we'll be at Monday Night Garage, which is down, if you haven't been there before, on the West Side Beltline. On the legislative side, there's been a few updates that we wanted to make sure that this group was aware of. One is that there is a big push within state legislature to require local agencies, meaning if you're not a state agency, to do qualifications-based selections for your contracts. Many agencies already do this. I know Gwinnett, by way of example, and Cobb do that already. But there are many others that do not. So that is a change that is being pushed by the state legislature that will, if passed, will impact the rest of the industry. Similarly, there is a push to decouple licensure. What it means for the majority of us is that when you get out of school, you can immediately take the PE exam as opposed to wait for 4 years. So yay, that's exciting for our new members. That hasn't passed yet though, so don't blow it off yet. So we're following that, and then the last thing at a much bigger level is tort reform that's being pushed by the governor. He's even said that if it doesn't get passed, he'll call back a special session to make sure that it does get passed. And the reason that this impacts us is business insurance rates continue to go up. Because of civil litigation for various pieces. So by way of example, if Marwan is being naughty and doesn't wear his seatbelt and gets in a wreck, you cannot presently in the state of Georgia introduced the fact that Marwal was not wearing his seatbelt. And so it's those types of things that they're trying to get corrected ultimately to help make sure that insurance costs for private prices down. Again, that's a good thing. Before I go too far, Cobb County has an announcement, so I'll circle over to you.
Thanks so much. Hey, good afternoon. I'm Paul Giles. I'm with the Cobb County Department of Transportation. I made an announcement fall about an upcoming project we have going on. It's a TMC upgrade project. I just want to announce that kind of again because we have reached the point where we've issued an NOIA, a notice of intent to advertise, issued on 2/17, so just recently. We are expecting to advertise or submit advertisements for RFPs on May 16th. So just want to kind of get that out there. You can find more information on the NOIA and the project at the Georgia Procurement Registry or at the Cobb County DOT or Cobb County Government website. We've got a transportation website that's got information on upcoming RFPs and other projects. But just a quick overview, it is an upgrade of our TMC. Our TMC was opened in 2010. So we're about 15 years into that, so it'll be coming out. But one of the most important dates we've got coming up in relation to that is we have an industry forum that's taking place on April 15th. So it's going to be from 10 to 12. You'll see some more information out there or come ask me about that. Basically, it's going to give all the potential bidders and those interested in the project to come by the TMC, take a look at what we currently have there and just kind of get an idea of what the project entails so that you can, hopefully successfully put together a team for bidding on that project. But I'll be here through the meeting and after. If there's anyone, I think I'm the only one wearing pink here. So if you want to come and talk to myself or Yancey Bachman's on the team too, as is Mark Start with AECOM. So if y'all want to reach out to any one of us three after the meeting to kind of get some more information, feel free. Thank you so much.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thanks, Matt.
Next up, so I'm going to do a shout out to our programs committee. If you guys could raise your hands and shake them vigorously. Kate, I think, just walked out. But again, this is a huge shout out to them. They're essentially doing many annual meetings every single month. So this very meeting requires a lot of planning, a lot of coordination. So huge thanks to them. As a general request to our members, when we are ordering food, caterers typically like that more than 2 minutes in advance. So being a walk-up makes it difficult to forecast that out. And so we would kindly request that folks just remain aware of those monthly meetings. Try to register as early as you can. It just helps our programs committee understand the venue space that they need to get and the food that they need to get. But I think what is important, and this is the next part of that shout out, is that for the Smart Summit, in the last, I think, 5 monthly meetings, we have had sellout crowds, and that's wonderful. It means that we have between 90 and 100 people coming to these meetings. You are doing those last minute things, don't expect up closing. And so when you are doing those last minute things, don't expect that last minute registration to go through because there's a bunch of other people, usually about 20 to 30 of you guys, that do a last minute registration. So if that happens and you don't get it, that's typically why. So again, registering early, make sure that you can get to the meeting and attend and have all the wonderful food and catch up with all the wonderful people. With that, I'd like to introduce our sponsor for the meeting. I believe it is TCS. If they are here, Eric, come on up. We'll give them a hand.
Is there a clicker for the PowerPoint?
Right here.
Okay, perfect. Good afternoon. I don't know why I'm so nervous. I've met a lot of you in this room. You guys are so smart. You got me nervous, and I used to be a professor and a teacher for 20 years, so I talked every day, and I'm shaking a little bit. For those of you whom I haven't met, my name is Roy Stallworth, and I am with Transportation Control Systems. And we were happy to sponsor the lunch today. Obviously, I like to eat, and I like everyone else around me to eat, have good conversations over food. So If you don't know, Transportation Control Systems is based in Tampa, Florida, started in the 1970s. They manufacture traffic cabinets, traffic signals. We're a big distributor, Pelco, all of the Pelco line, RTC for the school flashers. In some states, they lead with MyoVision. Me, myself, I'm in Georgia and North Carolina. I distribute Bosch. And the main thing that we do that I like to talk to people in this room about is we build solutions. We like to build solutions with quality materials, and that will help solve and make things better. So that's our goal. One of my personal goals, why I came to this industry. I'm new to this industry. I've been in this industry only 18 months. And the reason why I came is because my younger brother, many of you may know him or have heard of him, his name is Louis Stallworth, and he is the executive manager for Bosch, North America, for ITS, and smart cities and communities. And so he'd been bugging me for a decade, come in, because I'm from academia, and I liked it. And so finally, October of 23, he was bugging me so much, I said, hey, when there's a company or someone that has a need, let me know and I'll do it. And he said, well, since you said that, there is a company. And I could have smacked him upside the head. And he told me about TCS. And so one of the reasons that I came in is because my brother and I have a shared vision. And that is, we want to bring everything that we do with traffic and making things safer for all of you entities, all of you end users, get you the best equipment possible at obviously the most cost-efficient way that we can do it. And there's a lot of money, and this can be an expensive industry. And so all of the solutions that I'm going to present to you, we have got excellent equipment, and we are looking at making it the best possible cost for you. So please, if you are working with people on projects or anything, please feel free, give me a call. If you might know Jimmy Fontaine, who is our VP of sales, who's my boss. And if you know Jimmy or you know Steve Gillis, Steve Gillis is the owner of the company. You can call us up and say, hey, we're interested. We got this. We got this going on, and we'll come up with a solution. With Bosch and our other partners, we'll come up with a solution for you. So today I wanted to showcase wrong way, and wrong way detection is a solution that we countered with Seon for LiDAR. And what we do is we've got LiDAR, and we use cameras, and we've set up this system to where it will be a system of notification for wrong-way drivers. And we have wrong-way signs. So it's the wrong-way system, detects, warns, and alerts. Okay, let's see if it came on. Oh, nope, right here. Wrong button. All right, there we go. Got a little beep. So the nice thing is this is the panel design, fits in any 19-inch rack, any 334 or 330S cabinet. So basically what you have is we put up two cameras, one going from each direction, and we have a LiDAR, or you can do it with video only. We did a wrong-way test in New Jersey DOT. One of the things you need to know about, since I only have 1 minute left, is that wrong-way has been tested and been running on the Florida Central Expressway for 3 years. It's simple to set up. New technology with Bosch AI, analytics, and LiDAR. Proven functionality for over 3 years. Lower cost than our competition, I guarantee you. Configuration is quick and easy. And we don't close any ramps. We can commission it without closing a ramp, and then we can tweak zones a little bit after that. The last thing I will mention, because it uses the Bosch Denian camera, and Bosch is great, there was a wrong-way project in Kentucky that had an issue with headlight glare from a motorcycle. We also had that. Our solution, we fixed it. We moved the camera up on the pole, tilted it down a little bit. No more glare, no more problems. So if you've heard anything about Bosch and you say, yeah, I heard about Bosch and those cameras and there was an issue, please call me. I guarantee you we got it fixed or somebody did something. So thanks a lot for giving me the time here today, and I look forward to having many more conversations around.
Thank you, sir. And with that, allow me to introduce Greg Ramsey. He is going to be introducing the rest of the Peachtree Corners team who will be presenting today.
Thank you very much. Welcome to Peachtree Corners, everybody. Fantastic crowd today. Thanks for coming out. I was going to introduce James Nguyen, and I told him I was going to introduce him, and he left the room. But James has been here for around 9 years. He's walking by the door trying to ignore me. James handles all of our ITS, TSMO, traffic engineering type stuff. He's done a fantastic job and an integral part of what we do at Curiosity Lab and for the city's day-to-day. Our speaker today is Brandon Branham. I've known Brandon since 2008 when we were both working/incarcerated at Sandy Springs. He's come a long way. He's from a small town in Kansas, believe it or not, with no traffic problems. But a small town boy living in a lonely world took a midnight train to Peachtree Corners, and here he is. He's our Chief Technology Officer, the Director of Curiosity Lab, here to share with all the exciting stuff going on.
That's a pretty good opening. I like that one. Where they filmed Little House on the Prairie. That is where I grew up. So it is a rural town of Kansas, very small. The Laura Ingalls Museum is still there if you're ever interested. But no, thank you all for coming out today. Our focus, you've heard a little bit about Curiosity Lab, I think most of you in the room. But quick overview, our goal through Curiosity Lab is to be an economic driver for the city, to create a space of innovation, to open public infrastructure, to allow emerging technology that space to come and deploy, test, develop these technologies that make our communities better. Since opening the lab in 2019, we have assisted 169 companies on our infrastructure to deploy their technologies, created 2,700 new jobs in the city, and $1.2 billion worth of investment by the private sector into the city through the initiatives of Curiosity Lab. So I was going to just capture a couple of our new projects since you've had an update a couple years ago. There on the right side, we launched the world's first underground hyperlogistics robotic delivery system. So this 18-inch HDPE pipe goes into our innovation center, mile up the roadway to a shopping center, and they are testing underground delivery. We will launch that in December of last year. And the company's name, even better, it's called Pipe Dream. So good job on them. They got clever on that, but since launching this product, they actually have now 100 pre-orders. They'll be launching their first fast food chain for curbside delivery here in a couple months. So excited to see their growth. They're based out of Austin, Texas. And there on your left, that is with our company here in the room, Seont. As we graduated and accelerate our infrastructure outside of Technology Park, where you were here on the roadway, we wanted to move into a more dense, higher volume environment, so installed some infrastructure out on State Route 141, Peachtree Parkway, and open that to allow companies to start coming in. And so using LiDAR for classification, detection, near miss, and Stephen, you can fill in any of the gaps that I miss. I'm not a traffic person, so forgive me. There we go. But it's been an interesting use case seeing the PEDs cross that roadway because it is a very long crosswalk, seeing the different use applications. Are they making it in the time of the signal? And we're also seeing this is one of our higher accident intersections. So now having that real-time data on that intersection, be able to see what we can do to assist in the improvement of the flow and efficiency. And how do we move those into our downtown as well? Because that sits right next to our downtown. Another project launched just last week. We launched Georgia's very first commercially available driver out autonomous vehicle. So you probably all know Waymo, so think Waymo. But this is live right now in Peachtree Corners. You can call it, and there is no driver in the vehicle. We launched the service back in November with the safety steward that you saw there in the video, and then last week removed that driver out. And then we're actually going to see a little bit of this come online in downtown Atlanta, so just in time for World Congress. Waymo will be launching their service here in the next couple months, and then May Mobility here, who we partnered with, just announced with Lyft that they'll be providing autonomous services in downtown as well. So excited to see the advancement of that technology. This is our 5th autonomous vehicle deployment. So we have tested all platforms from purpose-built shuttles to now Toyota Siennas. So fits well into the suburbs for our soccer moms. This one I'm really excited about. We as communities all make investments in RFBs for our pedestrian crossings. But what we have come to notice is a lot of people don't actually push the button. So the infrastructure is there, but it's not being used. I don't know how many times I drive to work and see someone at this crosswalk and they're not pushing the button, so not using the infrastructure that cities and counties have invested in. So this is our middle school here on the right that you see right here. So we partnered with a company to install an AI-based camera system. So it's kind of hard to see, but she's in the zone, and now the lights just came on automatically. So when it detects that pedestrian inside of the crosswalk zone, it will turn those lights on and then let them clear. And then we're also tracking, you saw the vehicles go right through that intersection. So we'll classify that and detect as a call to felony, but just understanding the movement for those. And then what it also does is it's got a speaker on it, and it will give an audible sound to the pedestrian in the crosswalk that there is a vehicle approaching. We also put a connected vehicle RSU on it, so it does broadcast PSM as we start to look at the future of connected vehicle. And then we're also gaining new insights on traffic volume and movement at this intersection in places that you traditionally don't have live data. So excited about the safety application of this one. Another one is we look at near miss. It's a conversation for all of us. This is our downtown. We have a crossing here, as you can see on the numbers, over a 28-day period, 25,000 pedestrians, a little over 50,000 cars cross this interaction. And so how do we understand the movement? So fortunately here we have smart pedestrian, they stop, but if they would not have, that would have been a collision. So this software is detecting the speed of the vulnerable road user, the speed of the vehicle, and then estimating that time to collision for them. And so we're gaining new insights to that, and then how do you start to move that into higher volume, higher speed areas? And this is a company out of the UK that we're doing this work with. And then we all hear about traffic data, right? We're all collecting information. What is its purpose? What are we using it for? So as we think about the evolution of AI in traffic, where does it play its spot? Is the security and safety behind it there? And so this is the intersection right down here in Tech Park. And we did a base study of the intersection, the movement, understanding how cars are approaching the intersection, and then worked with a company and actually released the controller to them to allow them to operate that controller in real time based on what's happening, and seeing some great improvements. So you see there on the right, when we started the study, we're doing pretty good, about 50% of cars arriving to a red light. But after releasing that signal to them to allow them to operate on their AI platform, they reduced that by 12%. So great improvement in efficiency and flow and movement of that intersection, and really showing the true application of how AI can work in traffic. So those are different types of projects that we've been able to do. But this is an ecosystem. We can't do this without our partners. It takes a lot of work with private, public industry to do this together. And this past year, we brought on some new partners. So getting ready to launch a true edge with NVIDIA, having compute in-house to really see what you can do with AI when you have that compute power inside. So we're launching their latest chipsets inside of our servers where we can do AI at scale across our entire city. And then Scientific is a company that does the AI models. So it's great that you have the compute, but you also need people to actually use it. So they'll build the platforms looking at everything from public safety to transportation to operations and maintenance. And then here in the room with us, just kicked off a partnership with Parsons to look at a broader ATMS application set. Now that you have all these connected devices, all this information out there, how do you start to use that, consolidate it to make holistic decisions? And then lastly, from an operations standpoint, partnered with ABB. They have a new sensor set that can go on motors. So we have a splash pad in our downtown. Any city in here that runs a splash pad knows you're not supposed to wear diapers in a splash pad. They still wear diapers in a splash pad. So clogs the pumps, burns out the motors. So we're working with them on a new IoT sensor to give us early detection and changes on that motor. So excited about that one. But all of our work, we've got about 25 companies in the onboarding process now, so continuing to expand that. And then we actually just purchased a building, another building right next to our innovation center. I know some of you have been there. So we'll be expanding our footprint another 25,000 square feet, opening up new opportunities and additional space for innovation to happen. So thank you for the time. Thank you for joining us in Peachtree Corners, and let us know if we can help in any way. Thank you. I'm not answering questions. If you got questions, James Wynn is here, so point them to him.
I think you guys leave it and I'll run. I'll be a runner.
Oh, they are open up for questions, so any questions? Again, I am not a traffic person, so keep that in mind with any of your questions. But we do have traffic guys in the house, a lot of you. Don't be shy.
The AI that helps detect with the near misses, and then you also have the AI that says that automatically triggers the pedestrian crossing the Peachtree. So, are there any plans to maybe combine those applications to so if you're noticing that you have a location that has like a lot of near misses, to maybe put in that AI technology to help alert the pedestrians?
Yeah, and looking at different ways that do you put down downstream infrastructure to bring more awareness. Yeah, those are all conversations, because what we're especially seeing when they run through the crossbar at an RFB, do we need a downstream warning signal? What are other ways that we can connect the pedestrian? So we work with an app, so we try, but nobody wants to download another app on their phone. But you can get an app that will give you alert through the connected vehicle message over the network. But the challenge is just how do you get that out to people that actually want to use it.
How do you decide what technologies to test? Do you approach companies when you see something out there that is interesting, or is everyone coming to you and then you sort through them?
Combination of both. We do a lot of recruitment. I think my friends in the room are a little jealous of my travel schedule. But we do go out, search new technologies, look a lot to Europe and Asia, because they do have a little bit of advancement in a few areas than the US. And then we do, since we've been open now for 6 years, we do have a pretty steady pipeline of companies coming to us. Because what I didn't mention is our infrastructure, we do not charge companies to use it. So it is free for them to come and deploy and integrate into the infrastructure, so removes those barriers for them.
So Kate actually took my question. That's what I was bugging her about. Are you at a point where you're having to turn people away? So that's the first part. Oh, that's a
Eat the mic.
somebody call HR. I been assaulted. Are you at a point where you're having to turn people away from the amount of interest that you're getting? And then the second thing, different question, what kind of partnering are you doing with various universities? Are you getting a lot of university interest in research and students coming in, that kind of stuff?
Good questions. We have not had to turn anyone away yet. The one thing we do have to manage is obviously you can only have one company doing detection on a traffic signal at a time. So that tends to be our biggest challenge, is just rotating through, giving them the opportunity on the actual controller work. But as the other technology, we have not. It's a spread across the board. So we've got construction innovation. We've got a company that does robotic systems for tying rebar, markings, to health tech, to IoT. So it's not just traffic and transportation, so that helps a little bit with that. From the research side, yes, we have several partnerships. Our biggest partnership is with Georgia Tech. Surprised I didn't hear any Go Jackets on that one. But we are a research site for civil engineering, computer science. We have an ongoing agreement that they can use our facility and the data from it. And then we also work with their professional education team. So they actually teach classes out of our innovation center on new workforce for coding development. We work with Kennesaw State University as well and their IoT program. They actually just finished a capstone project with the class there. And then Georgia State from a cybersecurity perspective.
Have you had a chance to use any of the Bosch technologies over there at the Curiosity Lab?
Great tee up right there. You saw the Bosch logo on the partner slide. Yes, Bosch has been a partner since 2020. We have now 148 Bosch cameras deployed across the city. So doing all of your edge use cases, processing on there. One on the intersection, we actually did a collaboration with Comsignia and Bosch because Bosch does the edge processing of pedestrian recognition right there on the camera. So it can detect when that ped is in the crosswalk, sends that directly to the RSU, and then broadcasts over a PSM message on the PC5, all right there on the edge. So, and then, we traffic, pedestrian detection. We're working on dog detection because we just opened a new dog park. And technically by health standards, you're only supposed to have so many dogs in the pen at one time. But how you manage that, that's a fun one.
I'm going to have to take you on a road with me. Thank you so much.
Hey, Brandon.
What's up, Steven?
I think it would be really interesting for you to talk about how we've got the intersection set up at Peachtree Corners Circle, because we're not actually doing full actuation there, but the way that that's set up, we are able to do a lot of testing and validation with technology. So maybe for people that aren't familiar with how you've got that set up, you've put a significant investment into that. It's definitely worth your time to brag about it.
Thank you. So we call it our ghost intersection. And so first shout out to Kristen and the team because they helped us with the signal phase and timing that they're running on that actual intersection there. So we do have the same controller, the Q-free controller in the cabinet. So running that signal phase and timing out to all of your poles. So we can essentially simulate very closely to what is actually happening in real time on that signal to give companies that opportunity to test those new application and detection and movement. And shout out to GDOT here in the room for helping us out on the max time so we ensure that our synchronization on the SPAT messaging stays in line with everything. So creates that environment where maybe they're not quite ready to actuate light, but you can get that simulation and that model based on real-time information that's happening at that intersection. So thank you, Stephen. And we did win the ITS Georgia Award. So thank you for the votes.
So when a detection company, since we've been talking about detection, approaches you guys and you all have a list of people that want to do detection, how long do you give them in the field before you kick them out and let the next people come on?
Yeah. For detection, we'll usually run 6 to 8 months with a preset of 3 months of data collection on that. So almost close to a year that they can have on that signal before we have to move on to the next one. And a lot of them, we can use existing data as well to validate their data so they can match to see is their detection as accurate as the previous client or the current client that's on that traffic signal. Okay, trivia fact for you. Does anyone know where the modem was invented? It's an easy one. Peachtree Corners. So now you got it for your next bar night. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you, everyone. Our sponsor, TCS, thank you to Peachtree Corners for having us out here this afternoon. Thank you to our programs committee for keeping us well fed. And with that, go ahead and dismiss you a little bit early. Thank you all for attending. Again, our next monthly meeting registration should be open. It'll be the 4th Wednesday of March, and it'll be at Maggiano's, Cumberland.